Hi everyone, and thank you for clicking on my video. So I was trying to figure out what can I play or say over my recording of me doing my makeup that will be somewhat interesting. And a question that I get a lot is, how do you start a business? It is kind of hard to do, and a lot of times, if no one has taught you how to start a business, you just say forget it and work for someone. So I guess to start off, it will make sense for me to explain how I would know how to start a business. I own my own cosmetic line, Cat Lady Cosmetics. I have always loved makeup, always played in makeup, so it just felt natural when I decided to create my own line. I created my own line for so many different reasons. Like, for one, I lost my job and I couldn't find another job, and it was just like an epiphany I had. You always love makeup. At that moment, I could afford to do it, so I did. So that's one reason. Another reason, upon me losing my job, I did go to cosmetology school, and I ended up not getting along with the other women in the class for whatever reason. I was only in school there for a month, but for whatever reason, they actually stole my makeup kit. And when they stole my makeup kit, I was in the beginning of my channels, my Instagram, my YouTube. I had just started getting into being an influencer, and it kind of set me back really big. But, you know, I started thinking, and I was like, since my makeup is that important, me wanting to do makeup, I don't understand why it was just so, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't understand why it bothered them so much that I simply wanted to be a makeup artist. I don't see what the problem was with that, but whatever. Moving on. So there's a reason. I also created it, and used it as an outlet to express my emotions and how I felt as a rape victim. It was something that I had never shared with anyone, so being able to come out about it and actually do something in my community, regardless to if it was a big impact at this point in my career or not, it really meant a lot to me. Hopefully in the future I will be able to afford to do bigger things, but I know I'm just starting out, so I'm not able to do as much as I want to, but I do as much as I can as far as that goes. And lastly, just to have something that's mine, like working hard every day, going to work for 8 hours a day. You spend majority of your time at work, and I was not digging the idea of going to work, hating being there, not wanting to be around the people I was around. It was just so miserable, and in a sense, starting my own business makes me feel free. So I will get into the first part of how to start your own business. Stay tuned. So to start this off, I think the most important thing, like, I have heard this several times. I watched several videos on how to start a business, went to several seminars, and the most important thing is to do something you love to do. And like, that's a big thing, I feel, in my opinion, in my experience. The fact that I love doing what I do, it really pushes me, because otherwise I wouldn't, because of the different stresses that come with being a business owner, because it is not easy. I am very grateful that I do something that I truly love to do, something that truly makes me want to wake up. It truly, gives me energy. It brings me joy to do. So that will be my first level of advice. You don't want to do something just because you see someone else doing it. That may actually turn out to be something you don't want to do. So the joy that you see it bringing the other person is not going to rub off onto you because you don't really like doing it. They like doing it. So you don't want to just do something just because somebody else is doing it. Okay, so that would be my first rule of thumb, hands down. First off, get it out the way. Number two, after you figure out what you want to do, whatever it is, my second rule of advice would be, especially if you are not rich, you don't have, you're not famous, you don't have a huge following, you should do something where you are actually giving a service, and through your service, you can sell your goods. So that would be like, musicians sell their music, CDs, mixtapes, things like that. Makeup artists, I sell makeup. I'm also a photographer. I sell pictures. Like you want to do something that can come along with your service. That way it'll be easier to get customers because regardless to how, celebrities make it look, it's not easy to start a business. If you were a celebrity, yes, it will be very easy because you have this huge following of people who already like you. They already want everything that you have, or I guess in some kind of twisted way. Maybe not so much, but whatever, you know what I'm saying. Like they already want what you have in a way. So, being that you're a celebrity, they want what you have. They want it because it's attached to your name or whatever reason. They're going to buy it just because it's you. So, you have to do the same thing in your own right. And you have to sorry. You have to remember that everything you do is in your own right. This is no race. There's no competition. That's something that me being an Aries, I'm naturally competitive. And when someone is showing me signs of competitiveness, it makes me want to be competitive. But I have to constantly tell myself there's no competition, there is no race. Okay, there is no competition, there is no race. I have to tell myself that over and over again because social media will try to push you into thinking that you're racing with someone and you're racing with no one. You're racing with yourself. As long as I'm better than the person I was yesterday, I'm happy. And so far, I'm doing excellent at not being the person that I was yesterday. Every day, I'm tested in some sort of way, and in my eyes, I pass. Okay, so oh my God, I just started going off. Okay, anyways. Yes, so you want to make sure you're doing something that you love to do. You want to make sure that you make it easier for yourself by having some kind of service that the customer is already coming to you for, and then on top of that, offering them a product. Okay, next. If you are planning on having a big business, like this is not to those who are just trying to get some products that they could sell on Amazon or eBay, or they just trying to go to a few the thrift centers or the flea markets and sell some stuff, get some quick cash, and they out of there. No. If you're trying to build an actual corporation, an actual business, you want it to be big, you really need to take out a lot of time and think about your business name. You want your name to be different. You want your name to be different. You don't want it to be similar to somebody else's name. And you don't want it to be someone's name already, okay? Because I've seen that. I've seen people have the same business name as someone else. And although a lot of times if they're not doing anything related to what you're doing, it really doesn't matter. But You get what I'm saying. Like, if you want it to be only yours, make sure it's very unique. Make sure you get everything copyrighted, all that good stuff. Along with that, make sure you get your tax ID, because if you do not pay taxes, the IRS will come after you. Fair warning. Okay. You have to understand that your taxes are going to be different. Instead of receiving taxes, you are going to be paying taxes. You'll be paying taxes regardless if you do it quarterly or yearly. I suggest quarterly. That way it's easier for you to keep up with how many sales you have, how much profit, how much you bought, and all of that. The only time that you, my words are getting twisted again, okay? The only time that you may end up getting some kind of money back is if you have been putting a ton of money into the system. And it has to be either through your business by paying taxes. You're making a lot of sales, so you're paying a lot of taxes. And on top of that, you have been buying a lot of product. So you have a lot of write-offs, and you've been keeping up with you have to keep up with everything. Like, honestly, this video is going to be 30 minutes, 32 minutes, I think, because that's how long it took me to do my makeup. But I couldn't list how many things business owners can actually write off on their taxes. There are so many things. But the only way you're going to get money back on that is if you put money into the system. And either you're making sales, or you have a part-time job, or your business is your part-time job, however you want to do that, and you're putting money into the system that way. Those are the only ways you're going to be able to get an income tax check. Otherwise, you could just let it go. Okay, so that's the taxes. Also, you are going to need your products. You need to find a manufacturer. Once you figure out what you're going to do, you have to find a manufacturer. Okay, and it really depends on what you're selling. Because if you're selling like how I sell makeup per se, because I have had so many questions about makeup, and honestly, makeup is very hard to sell when you do not have a celebrity status. Okay, I'll first of all say that. Even the Mary Kay is hard to sell. Who's still wearing Mary Kay? Who's still wearing all those things? It's hard to sell makeup when you don't have the kind of following other cosmetic companies have. Okay, even some people are very critical about what they put on their face, so you have to be careful with makeup. So if you are on my video and you're thinking about having a cosmetic company, I'm going to tell you separately, like, honestly, you really have to look into it. I took months looking into cosmetic. The cosmetic industry is it's something you have to be gentle with. And honestly, that's the reason the first time, not the last time, I went to cosmetology school twice. The first time I went to cosmetology school, I didn't stop because I didn't like it or I wasn't getting along with people. I stopped because it was so many things that you can get sued for, and you could go to jail for. You could, it's like you have to be careful of what you put in products that go on to the skin. Now, as far as my cosmetic line goes, I decided to not only I researched everything, every kind of ingredient that would go into any product that I was purchasing. What are the risks on all these products? What is FDA approved? Make sure it's FDA approved. What is, just everything. You really have to research into everything. And when you do finally meet a manufacturer, you have to talk to your manufacturer and let them know what ingredients you want in your product, because it is your product. It's your name that's going to be on the product. After you purchase your whatever amount from them, they have no more dealings with it. They don't have to worry about it anymore. You do. So be very careful on what company, what manufacturer you choose. There are so many companies in the US that are private label companies that you could actually purchase the makeup from them, and they could put your logo on it. It's so many things you could do, okay, as far as makeup and other products as well. Of course, I know more about makeup than I do everything else, but as far as the boutiques go, it's the same thing. There are several different areas. There's an area here in Houston where you can actually go and purchase your clothing wholesale. So if you're looking to start a boutique, I would suggest looking up where you can buy wholesale clothes. There are different websites. Sometimes a lot of these websites will not allow you to view them until you have your business name and your tax ID. So make sure you do those two before you do the rest. And you also want to do something you want to do, okay? If you're going to sell clothes that you would wear. If you're going to sell weave that you would wear. If you're going to sell makeup you would wear. Like, when I went into my business, my whole mindset was, because I started with lashes. And I started with lashes because lashes used to be like my staple piece. When I was in my early 20s, 18, 19, 20, 21, you would never, even still now, but more so back then, you would never catch me anywhere. Grocery store, corner store, even to walk up the street in the hood to the corner store, I had my lashes on. I made sure, and then I had not just any lash, the big lashes, the big curled lashes. I had to have them. So it was something that I actually was teased about. People used to mess with me about my lashes. So I said, you know what? I'm finna have my own lash line. So that's what it started out as. And I noticed a lot of other people were doing the same thing. So I decided to expand from just a lash line, and I moved into lipstick, and then I moved into eyeshadow. So, it's a growing process, and that's really with any business, because now I do custom designs. I still have my cosmetics. I have all natural aesthetics. So, you start doing what you love to do the most. Like, you really do. You have to start doing something that you love to do. Put your heart and soul into it, and it's gonna grow no matter what it is. So my next piece of advice, at this point, my business, I would say that in the first year, I had my name and I had the products. I had named the products. You got to build your website, okay? In this day and age, if you don't have a website, people don't believe you're in business, okay? So the first company I used was Google. Google was good. It's free as long as you use the handle that they give you. But if you want to use your own handle, it's going to cost. I actually ended up switching to Wix, which I like Wix a tad bit better because it just works a tad bit better versus Google. Although I still have minor glitches and problems, it's not as much as I had with Google. With Google, a lot of people couldn't even see my site, and that is like a nightmare to an online boutique. Okay. So as far as the website go, in my experience, I worked so hard by myself up until I got ready to do my new website, because for my year anniversary, I decided I'm going to redo my website. I'm going to have my own handle. I decided to switch to a different browser, a different browser provide. Is that what it's called? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not a tech person. Okay, I don't even look. But I did do my own website, so if I could do it, you can easily. But it's just I forgot what it's called, but y'all know I switched to Wix. Okay, I switched to Wix. But anyways, I decided to switch the companies and switch up my website and just change it up. And just upgrade all the way. So I did that. I spent the money on that. Honestly, it doesn't cost that much. I can understand for a first business, it does seem like a lot to be paying out $20-$30 a month for a website, but it's a must in this century. Okay. I tried to hire somebody to build my website. That didn't work out for me. But like I said, it could just be me. You have to do what's best for you. I'm kind of a strong minded person, especially after my first year. My first year of business was so hard, so stressful. I actually might do a whole separate video talking about the things that I went through during my first year of business, even before my business was started. It was just so stressful. And I do understand I was going through a spiritual awakening while starting a business, while going through all this turmoil. God was removing a lot of bad relationships and negative people out of my life. So I ended up going through so much in a matter of 12, maybe 13 months. But it has helped me grow so much, okay? And I'm starting to just go off onto other subjects. Okay, so the next thing that you need to have, we have talked about you have to know what you want to do. We talked about you have to have your name legally. We talked about you want to have your tax ID. We talked about taxes. We talked about products and inventory. There are some companies that will allow you. I've never used it, and that's not to knock anyone that has. I don't know what will come in the future, but I've never used it, so I can't say exactly. I may be wrong about a few things, but there are companies that will allow you to design a product and they will drop ship the product for you. So that means that you don't have to worry about your inventory being at your house. They keep the inventory. When someone orders it off of your website, they will ship it to the customer. And this could be a good thing, especially for someone who is just starting a business. You don't have a lot of money to work with, so you just find a company that does use the drop ship. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I never use it. I don't know exactly how it works. I looked into it a little bit. But me personally, I want to have my product on me, because if I have a client and they want to buy something, I have it. Okay. So, like I said, with my little second rule, because of the service, I want to have my product on me. Okay. And then on top of that, I know that my products are products that I know if nobody else is going to use it, I'm going to use it. I love makeup. I love to do makeup. Okay. So that's that. Okay. Next, you have a delivery that goes in with inventory. Okay. Boxes and shipment methods. Okay. It doesn't really matter how it gets there, just as long as it gets there. And in today's time, we have all these tracking devices, so that's not so much what I am feeling the need to talk about. But more so, I found a problem with boxes. It is really hard to get custom boxes, especially at a decent quantity at a decent price. Um, but you can ship around. I have found for my office items, my promotional items, Vista Print, FedEx, Office Depot, they help a lot. Like, they really do. They do just about everything. Cups. You could sell cups as well, also. Okay. You can sell cups, hats, t shirts. They have the business cards, postcards, gift cards, stickers, pens, tints. Like, you want it, they got it. Okay. As far as putting your name on something and giving it away or selling it to further promote your business, they got it. They got you. Okay. And I'm sorry, y'all, I don't have anything sitting in front of me. I'm just going off the top of my head. So it's a tad bit more genuine, but it's a little more messy at the same time. But this, like I said, it's genuine advice, genuine things that I wish someone would have told me. I also wish that someone would have told me that I would have ended up having so much friction. When I started my business, I thought that everything was going to be cupcakes and sprinkles. I did not think, like when I had the dreams that I had about my business, it didn't show me the middle, the struggle that you have to go through to get to where you're going. It showed me the ending. And yeah, the ending looked nice. But once I started going through the middle, I was like, oh my God, do I really I've asked myself, I'm not even going to say it in the past tense. I have asked myself several times, are you sure you still want to do this? Because sometimes it can be very stressful, especially for anyone. I'm assuming mostly I will get people who want to start a makeup line or a cosmetic line, and I'm not trying to stop you from doing what you want to do, and like in any means. Like, honestly, I feel like it's so many people in the world. Everybody should be able to have something and to do something, have something of their own. But I'm just saying, it is hard to deal with. I lost some really important people to me, some people that I really loved and cared about, and it really hurt me so deeply. But but at the same time, it opened my eyes, because if these people were sitting in my life and they were happy when I was playing or when I wasn't serious or when I was just working for someone else, but as soon as I try to better myself, they feel the need to start up all this drama and try to make me out to be this terrible person, that just lets me know they didn't need to be in my life in the first place. If someone can't be happy for you, let them go. Okay. Okay, so while you're catching your breath on what I said about certain people randomly deciding they don't deal with you anymore, I also would like to advise you to expect to work alone, but accept any help you can get. I say that because it is easier to expect that no one is going to help you, and then people help you, and it's like, okay, this is, it's like a relief. But when you expect that people are going to help you and they don't help you, it kind of puts you into a rush. Like, it puts a rush on everything, because now your plans are all messed up. And that happened to me. That's not funny, but I guess it's funny now. But at the moment, it wasn't funny. Okay, but it taught me a lesson, because regardless to how cruel it seemed and how messed up it seemed, and oh, they helped this person, they didn't have a problem helping that person, it is what it is, they didn't want to help me. Okay. And you have to realize you can't write other people into your plans and expect them to help you, because it's your business, and a lot of times other people aren't going to want to help you, to be honest. Like, if you do have someone that wants to help you, you are absolutely blessed, lucky. Okay, you're very lucky, because a lot of times nobody is going to want to help you. You know, and when you think of it from their perspective, they have a job to do. They have 8 hours or 8+ hours that they go to work and they bust their ass. So why should they get off from work and then come and help you? And you're working for yourself. You don't have to listen to anybody scream at you and all this other kind of stuff that they have going on. Well, I don't want to say scream, but you know what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about anyone bugging you the way that someone or whoever they bump heads with at work is bugging them. But you can't don't allow that to stop you. Don't allow it to slow you down. Just keep pushing, keep going. Doing a little bit at a time. I realized just doing a little bit at a time, instead of trying to rush everything over a short period of time, works way better. Like I said, it's not a race, okay? And I understand we still have bills to pay, we still have a life to live. And that's why my second suggestion is not only do something that you love to do, but make sure it's a service, and that the product that you offer is connected to that service. That way you don't have to worry about bills and all these other things, because you're able to make money off of your service. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you learned something. Comment, like, subscribe. Bye bye.